Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started with the second session. The title of the second session, well, ladies and gentlemen, what's a conference, what's a seminar if we do not discuss the elephant in the room, which is definitely AI. And yes, the second session today is about AI dominance will drive North India aspirations to become a significant logistics powerhouse. The year 2023 was earmarked by the emergence of artificial intelligence, with many AI models making their debut and ushering in a new era in business process transformation. This has hugely impacted different industries, and the logistics industry is not left behind. Our industry, known for being a laggard in technology adoption, is now gearing up to embrace the AI revolution and implement the AI-based digital transformation. In this background, the question remains, how will the North India's aspirations to become a logistics powerhouse be impacted by the AI dominance in 2024? To debate on this much significant topic, I would like to invite our esteemed panelists on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to free up your hands. Let's welcome on stage Mr. Biju Nambishan, Head IT and Digital, CMA CGM Agencies India Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, he brings 14 plus years of experience in the IT industry, starting with software development, ERP design, development and implementation, to managing the ICT department in shipping and logistics on a pan-India basis with excellent people management skills. His specialties include project design, implementation, testing and training. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Biju Nambishan joining us, our second panel discussion. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Our next guest for the day, Mr. Anuj Yadav, Chief Technology Officer, Patang. With 14 years of seasoned expertise in digital transformation and product development, Anuj Yadav spearheads innovation as the Chief Technology Officer at Patang. He possesses a profound understanding of leveraging AI to drive efficiency within the logistics industry while championing scalable business processes. Anuj is committed to revolutionizing logistics through cutting-edge technology, enhancing operational agility, and delivering unparalleled value to stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anuj Yadav has joined us on the panel today. Moving on to our next panelist for the evening, Mr. Parvinder Singh, Managing Director, Hans Informatic Private Limited. Mr. Singh is one of the co-founders of the company and has over 30 years of experience in the logistics and supply chain industry. Hans Informatic, under his able leadership and guidance, has empowered and carved a niche for itself by providing domain-enriched, emphatic and cost-effective technology solutions, which also meet international standards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Parvinder Singh to the panel. Welcome, sir. Next, let me invite Mr. Atul Kumar Bansal, Group IT Head, Gateway Distriparks Limited. Mr. Bansal brings over 28 years of experience in IT strategy, IT policy, large-scale transformation projects, program governance, digital strategy, RPA, IoT, digitization and digitalization, ERP implementation, operations management and change management. He has expertise in defining IT policy and digitization strategy for the organization. Mr. Atul Kumar Bansal, welcome to the panel discussion. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Mahendra Birhade, COO, Rail and Inland Terminals, DP World. He has more than 30 years of experience as a leader and expert in supply chain and logistics domains in strengthening, scaling up, and heading the supply chain operations of business organizations. Before joining the corporate sector, he served the Indian Railways as IRTS officer at senior management level. He has obtained a PhD from Nanyang Business School, Singapore in operations management. We have Dr. Mahendra Birhade joining us on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen. Next, I'd like to invite on stage Ms. Kamna Ved, Assistant Professor, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies. She has been associated with academics for over 14 years, along with 2.5 years of experience in the IT sector. Her areas of interest include artificial intelligence, machine learning, software engineering, and DB management system. She is currently pursuing her PhD in computer applications from Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. Welcome, ma'am, to the panel discussion. Let's invite our next guest for the day, Dr. Surinder Ahirwar, IRTS, Joint Secretary, Logistics, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ahirwar started his career with the Indian Railways as Senior Divisional Operations Manager back in 2004 and has experience in managing and upgrading railway infrastructure. In the current role as Joint Secretary, Logistics and Trade under Ministry of Commerce, he is responsible for taking forward the government's flagship policy reforms in logistics via the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan and implementing the National Logistics Policy. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Surinder Ahirwar joining us on the panel tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite the moderator of the session. We have Mr. Sachin Bhanushali, Advisor, World Bank, today to chair and moderate this session. Mr. Bhanushali has 30 years of hands-on experience in intermodal logistics, as well as bulk and break-bulk logistics of steel, cement, and coal sectors. He was CEO and director at Gateway Distripark, and he was one of the founder of Gateway Rail and has been the architect of Gateway Rail brand in intermodal logistics sector of India. He worked with Concor for about 5 years, following a successful career of over 15 years with Indian Railways. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sachin Bhanushali to set the tone of the discussion and to chair and moderate the discussion. I leave the floor to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2 caveats before I start. I advise the World Bank on infrastructure, rail, and intermodal logistics. However, whatever I say here is essentially my personal views, not World Bank views. Second, when Captain Mishra asked me to chair this session, I was taken a little aback. Artificial intelligence. I had very little to do even with natural intelligence. And he wanted me to not only chair a session, but also speak about artificial intelligence. So it is going to be quite tough for me to do that. I'll make a feeble effort. I'm also mindful of the schedule that we have to run. Not only that, after this session, we have a stand-up comedian waiting in line for us, and I'm sure we will try to be less comic as compared to him, and followed by cocktails and dinner. So I will try and ensure that we keep your interest adequate enough in the sessions to follow. We won't put you to sleep. We had a small chat before we assembled here, and we thought of a sequence in which we would be able to present our case to you. I will speak the least. We will start with a presentation by Mr. Parminder Singh. We'll request him to keep the presentation less technical and more engaging in terms of what are the capabilities of artificial intelligence. We also have Anuj with us. He also is from the technology side. And he and Biju, along with Mr. Parminder Singh, will basically be giving us the technical side of it, ably joined by Atul Kumar Bansal, my colleague from Gateway, where I used to be the CEO until October 2022. We also have an academic amongst us, and it is always better to have academics amongst yourselves because that is where the knowledge flows from. So we have Ms. Kamna Veth with us. We will request her to give us, or rather teach us, what artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, analytics, etc. is all about, and how is it likely to help in logistics as well as bring some amount of, I would say, automation to a fractured IT systems that we work with. All of us have our own legacy systems in our own companies which don't talk to each other. Though we talk to each other, the systems don't talk to each other. There is a need to integrate at that level there has been a great effort which has been made to get the blockchain technology on board, but I think that effort, even at national level as well as international level, is still struggling. And last but not the least, we will start the session after the presentation by Mr. Parminder Singh with none less than Dr. Surendra Ahirwar, who is Joint Secretary in Logistics in the Ministry of Commerce, DPIIT, to get a perspective of what does the government think about it. And if we look at particularly a couple of initiatives which have been taken by the Government of India, Ministry of Commerce in the Gati Shakti initiative, what is it that the ULIP initiative in particular, what is it that the government wants to do and has been doing? Let's hear it from Doc himself. To start with, Mr. Parminder Singh, your presentation. Again, a small request, stick to your time and as less technical, the better. Because we don't understand much of the technicalities.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's my honor to be here to give you the practical side of the usage of AI. I am not going to be very technical or that about how it is to be done, but it's how you can use it in your day-to-day work, life, your businesses, your usage to improve your communication, get the data points to give you the predictive analysis and all that. So I will start from there. So this is what we say as the future, for the shipping. What exactly will it do to us? How we'll be able to use it over there? And this is just a small presentation. I will not read the whole thing. We just have how the evolution of shipping industry through the history has happened. So few points over there, like how the shipping started off and what is there and what are the Roman shipping and all that stuff, containerization and modern shipping. Then challenges. Now this is the where we have that. Now, until and unless we identify the challenges, we cannot overcome that. So these are some of the challenges which are faced by the shipping industry. Manual processes are there, that's why the inefficiencies are there. Adaptive decision making is not there, customer services challenges, not able to talk to them, not able to give them the track and trace thing in the time. And there's a lot of risk of frauds also happening in that documentation and everything is, fabricated and everything. So, and the main thing, all this shipping over the years has generated big data. Now, this is the starting point. Wherever there is a big data, AI can work only there is a big data. Data models are built on big data. The more the data will be there, the more predictive, more AI will be more intelligent. AI is nothing, doesn't work without human intelligence. Human intelligence is primary. Based on that, the AI works. AI needs data, and data is provided by the human intelligence, which we have worked over years and years of works. So, if the industry is fragmented, no problem. A fragmented industry can pool their data, anonymize it. You don't have to share your shipper consignment and all that, or the rates part of it. But if somehow you can aggregate this data in a particular thing, then the AI can work on it and give you a better insights to what all has happened and what will be happening in future. That's where the AI's role comes. And this is just a statement. The rapidly evolving world, you have to adopt technology. There's no option now. Earlier it was a few years back, a decade back or more than that, people used to have an option to go to the manual process or go to the thing. But now this is no longer an option. You have to have a technological background to that. So just a small, what is artificial intelligence is an umbrella term used. A range of technology including machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing. So what you have heard a lot of word about ChatGPT and Bard and all that. It works on large language models where you can basically query it by giving a longer question, not a search in a Google or like a simple word. It will bring only those keywords. You can have a question, a larger question, and you can train it also for yourself and give data to it. It will come back with you with a wider data which it has. So the free versions have a very stale data, paid versions have the latest data. So that is what the commercial model is for that. But basically, artificial intelligence is nothing. It is based on the data which is already available. It has to be there. So data models are very important to that. So benefits of AI, what will it happen? Okay, you say that these are the few points which can help. Route optimization, predictive maintenance, inventory, real-time track and trace. So how can the route optimization? See, we just heard in the previous session that there's a lot of freight corridors are coming, a lot of dedicated freight corridors, traditional corridors, things moving on, and with so much of information, so much of knowledge, and so much of routes happening that. So it's very difficult for a person or a company to remember that what is happening, what will be the efficient route happening, where he can quickly move the cargo, efficiently move the cargo, dwell time is the minimized and all that stuff. So this is where the AI can help you. If you have all this data fed up into the system, then AI can, over a period of time, will get more and more intelligent and give you based on the actual performances which are happening in the real time. It just cannot do, just the data is there, it cannot do any predictive analysis, it cannot do any route optimization. It will see how it's been happening, so that when the data is enough data for that, it will give a better and better results. So all these things are based on the data. How much data we have to work on that, that it happens on the actual science when it happens. Sorry. Okay. So more features on that, what it can, automated documentation. See, the mundane job of documenting same paper again and again. That can, and you have a lot of manpower doing that job for you. You are spending a lot on the manpower. Manpower, incidentally, is the biggest cost into any business. These days with the manpower requirements, which are trained requirements, are very expensive, untrained are very inefficient. So for that, that's where your AI will help you in generating those documents based on the data which was fed earlier without the intervention of any human being over there, or maybe one person doing a 10 person's job just by using the AI. So that's how it will help you on that. So, and with the safety measures, with the more and more artificial intelligence learning about the cyber crimes and cyber security, it can give you a better problem and in environmental impact. We have a lot of data on environment and how the shipping lines are going towards the carbon neutral or green and all that. So this is a lot of different diverse data. Any single human being can't comprehend all this. So to make it more useful, more practical, you have to use AI models, which will help you in moving ahead on that. So these are some statistics for the growth and potential for AI, which we have taken it again. See, if you see the source, what was the source for it? Source was again AI models only, ChatGPT and Google AI's models. So it's been come from that only. So that means it has lots of data to give these kind of stats to you. You don't have to crunch data on your own, do Excels and all that, get data from diverse sources and all. This artificial tool can do for you very easily. You just have to use it, give it a nice prompt, well-formatted prompt, and it will give you back the nice result, what you are looking for it. So there's a particular myth of AI in shipping. It will replace humans, too complex for small companies, and all these things. These are, I will just not read that, but these are the main myths about that. These are just, as I said, they are myths. What the reality is that it's really mentioned over there. What is the reality? The solutions are scalable, adaptable, human judgment, essential for complexity. Again, I said human judgment has to be there. AI augments human capabilities. AI augments human intelligence. It doesn't have right now for us, as in a shipping industry, it doesn't go totally autonomous on that. There might be some models, some certain things which are being built, or some machines are being built which will be autonomous, but not otherwise, right? So why the AI required in shipping? For all these things. Cargo management, operational efficiency, predictive maintenance, all these things are, supply chain optimization, where it will help me in my shortest route, minimum dwell time. All these things are there, which is the AI can help you into that. So fleet management, all these are all the points where you can have that. I will request the organizers they can share this PPT on their thing so that delegates can, who are more interested into getting into deep insights into it, they can read it properly at that time. Because of paucity of time, I just have to rush through it. So this is what I have done. And now see what are the practical applications. Supply chain is one thing. I have AI tools mentioned over here which can help you in doing these. So these tools are already available for each thing. Invoice processing, you have process. All these are actual tools. You can use it. You can adapt it into your business. You don't have to create your own AI models. That is where might be some more technical and difficult for the small organizations to create something. Use what is already there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's the same way. There are a lot of tools. A lot of people have worked. There are a lot of dual models for AI. Just pick it up from there. Use it, whatever your requirement, whatever your challenge is there, it will overcome that. So these are the main tools. And further that, even for your day-to-day communications, AI, you can use it. We have a lot of people, our junior staff, they have a paucity in language command over there. They are unable to write proper email, proper communicating with your customers and all that. So because of that, miscommunications happen. There are a lot of tools available which will write a beautiful email on your behalf or write whatever thing you want, just give it to that. It will correct your language, it will correct your grammar, put all the things, niceties over there, and you can send that email. This is where your business team can learn a lot and use the AI tools so they can improve their expressions by when they see, okay, I wanted to write this, but my AI tool has given me this, back. So if they read that, over a period of time, this business team will itself also improve their skills, which is very much required. So you can have inroads into your better business. You have a more communicative workforce who are looking very efficient now. Earlier you have to, there will be one person who will be vetting the communication, okay, you have missed this, there's a spelling errors, there are grammar errors and all that. Use AI tools, it can do it for the whole thing for you. And this is just a quote by Ray Kurzweil. He's saying that artificial intelligence will reach human level by 2029, and if I multiplied, but that's so far off, 2045. It will do only for the data point of it, but having a robots who can overcome you, that's not going to happen so soon. So just don't worry about that. It can replace your workforce and all that. It will only improve your workforce. They will have to learn new skills. You will they will perform better in their jobs. They don't have to do the mundane jobs. Mundane jobs can be, delegated to the AI tools. They will create everything. They will do, once you have, but your data, you must work on their data. Predictive analysis is one of the things, your data, just put that. Now the chat GPT tools, which is a paid tools, over there, your data is, you put your Excel data into that chat, it will create beautiful BI reports for you, dashboards for you, graphs for you, your own data, your own shipping data, your own shipment data. Just take it out in a manner, in an Excel, just hand over the Excel to chat GPT or any other such kind of tool, and it will present you with the beautiful data analytics over there. You don't have to hire a data analytics team over there who will take time to, create those models. It will be readily available to you. So these are the tools which you can use for your own work. So that's what I will close that. Okay, you don't have to really worry on that. Route optimization, there will be a lot of routes are coming. In future, it will keep on coming. You can do that. Your mundane job of track and trace, AI can handle that. There are tools available which can, scrape the net over there where your shipment is. It can give you an accurate points on that. It can give you analytics, how much dwell time for which trade lanes I am having more cost or more dwell time. all this analytics, the business owners need this information, but they are unable to generate it because they are themselves will take a lot of time and they are busy in doing their other core business of increasing their business or managing things. But they need this data too so that they can have an informed decision. Just give it to the AI tool. It will do it for you, what you really require. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Parvinder Singh. That was quite insightful. And I think two takeaways that I get from that is that we need a very, very large data set to come to any conclusion in terms of what automation can give us. One of the things that you mentioned, of course, was that the fear amongst people that artificial intelligence may replace people. This fear was there even when computerization took place. Amongst all of them, I was very confident that they will not be able to replace me because they did not know what I was doing. Coming to Doc, while from a let's say, IT point of view, there are a great deal of things which can happen with the tools and business intelligence assistance which can be made available by the algorithms which are built into your systems, etc. Finally, what matters is whether your hard infrastructure is delivering or not. And that hard infrastructure involves a lot of work which is supposed to be done by Government of India. In addition to that, in order to make, let's say, first plan for the infrastructure and then take maximum out of this infrastructure, there are a lot of IT tools which can be used. Secondly, if we look at GST as a source of data, I think that is the largest pool of data which is available in terms of origin, destination, as well as various types of cargoes which are moving in both international trade and domestic trade all over the subcontinental size country that we have. Now, in order to make sense out of this, it takes a great deal of effort. And I'm sure at the disposal of the Ministry of Commerce, we have adequate resources in terms of making meaning out of it and utilizing this data from both predictive planning point of view as well as utilization or maximization of the potential of harnessing the potential of the infrastructure that we have. We would like to hear from you, Dr. Ahirwar, as to what is it that the government thinks about it and what are the actions which have been taken until now, and what is it that you're planning for the future in order to ensure that the modal share increases, our logistics cost in terms of cost of carrying inventory on wheels is concerned comes down, and how is it going to help as far as our predictive planning is concerned? Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, and let me first of all thank NISA for organizing this conversation. I think it's really wonderful, and especially by the logistics sector, and further especially by the North Indian logistics service providers or consumers, because I consider any geographical region which is landlocked is having much higher craving for the efficient logistics ecosystem. And I think you would have that, and you're trying to give those efficient solutions to the logistics service consumers. So I really would like to extend kudos to all of you for organizing this conversation. And I think, and I hope that there would be a good outcome of this discussion and the brainstorming which happens. Coming to the question, thank you, Mr. Banushali, for asking a really intelligent question. And this is natural intelligence, I can say, not artificial. And for natural intelligence, if you have to depend, you can depend on individuals like Mr. Banushali, and I think you've already expressed that confidence. About digitalization in India, I think if world is witnessing a wave beyond the third wave, which we have been talking about and hearing about for decades, right? I think this is a digital wave the world is witnessing, right? And let me assure you, and you already know about it, India is definitely riding high on the higher waves of this digital wave, right? And this is manifest in many ways. There's a Digital India initiative. There's a digital public infrastructure initiative, which is spanning across the government, different departments, different governments going even up to the states and the union territories, right? And we are just not, the government is just not leading by example in the domestic sector when it comes, or national level, but globally also, the government of India, along with the public sector, is definitely leading this movement or the revolution, which we can call as digital revolution, the world which is witnessing. In last G20, the meetings or that gathering, which under the India's presidency, there also we have, given to the world the constitution for digitalization of the trade process and the logistics ecosystem, right? And today we have 10 principles which are almost like 10 commandments for the logistics sector and for the digitalization of the logistics sector. And it is not digitization minded. It's a digitalization which we are trying to promote. And digitalization involves digitalization of entire process of generating document or the business activity which you do. Everything has to be digitalized, right? So that will generate the transactional documents, which again are not to be digitized, but they are generated from the process of digitalization. So that's what we have been focusing at, and for that we have developed the so-called the constitution, which is going to be followed by the entire world, especially the G20 countries, and of course we hope that the rest of the world would also follow the same guidelines, because they are so universal and so acceptable by most of the countries. And it definitely furthers the interest of the business, interest of the government, and interest of the final consumers, right? Coming down to the artificial intelligence or any other digital technology, be it blockchain or generative AI, we are for every technology, right? And we are not just focused on a particular product in the digital space, including the AI. And I can say on 3 fronts which I identify. One is the developmental initiatives. How do the government promote development of artificial intelligence or blockchain or generative AI? I think there's all policies which are which can be called as enabling policies for the entire ecosystem, including the startup ecosystem, who can develop any technology, right? And more than restrictions, they're all facilitations which are being provided. There's a startup ecosystem, there is investment which is being promoted in the digital space. There's a huge IT sector and a very potent IT sector the country has today. And you all are there contributing in different ways to that vitality of the IT sector in the country, right? So developmental, from the developmental perspective, the government is definitely helping, and whatever handholding is required, that's being done. Now, second is the regulatory aspect, right? And I think when it comes to the digital technology, it's more of a facilitation, as I said, than the regulation. So at this stage, we are still keeping our hands tied and not, interfering in development process or by regulating or by, kind of creating some inhibitions within the digital ecosystem. And therefore, we are saying that you go for any technology, be it artificial intelligence, blockchain, generative AI, machine learning, anything of that sort, right? And there is no holding back, at least from the government side. So more than regulation, we are doing facilitation here too. Now the third aspect which I consider is how the government is leading by example by adopting these technological solutions which are there in the logistics space today, or digital space today. And you know most of the initiatives. Like PM Gati Shakti is one such initiative which is kind of one of its kind in the world, wherein the GIS technology is being utilized, leveraged for even planning the infrastructure. And this has helped the government. When I say the government, means it includes the state governments and the union territories as well. Every ministry across the governments have adopted it or started adopting it and have seen the results. Now, the planning of infrastructure has become much more comprehensive, much more multimodal, much more faster, optimally cost, right? I mean, the economies have been affected as far as the capital expenditure is concerned, right? And the most important thing, the entire government is coming together through the digital platform when it comes to making decisions about logistics infrastructure development, right? And the strength and the underlying strength of this entire mechanism is, it is the decisions which are being taken not just on the basis of the hunches, but on the basis of the data. It's a very objective decision-making process which has been developed and established in the country, right? Which is, I have not seen any equal elsewhere in the world. So we are working on that. Then you have ULIP, which is again a very extensive platform. And Mr. Parminder has said, and also Mr. Banushali, any intelligence is based on data, in bits of information, right? And ULIP is providing you that single source or a single window wherein you are finding all logistics sector data, be it about the railways, airways, shipping, roadways, or any other modes of transport, or about any service related to the logistics, right? And at present, there are around 35 systems in the government as well as in the public, some of them in the public sector also, which are integrated to this platform. And there are other smaller systems. In the interest of time, I will not dwell into that. But let me tell you, the artificial intelligence is so very relevant now. Once you are sitting on the heap of data, right, artificial intelligence becomes more important and more relevant. And in ULIP also, even in PM Gati Shakti, while PM Gati Shakti is still confined to the government sector and we are not opening into the public sector, or private sector, sorry, but we are also thinking about adopting artificial intelligence and creating that intelligence layer on the PM Gati Shakti platform, which will help us in predictive planning, which can help us in building scenarios, right? And on the ULIP side, it is left unto the private sector to develop any application which can give better solution and more efficient solution for logistics efficiency, right? Using whatever data you require, including from the GST and platforms are, right? And all these systems, as I said, 35 systems of the government, including the GST and portal or the platform, is already integrated and the data, therefore, is available. It is now unto the private sector, the developers, the talent in the so-called digital space, including in the artificial intelligence, to utilize this data and utilize this opportunity to develop any such applications. So we are all for digitalization. We are all for any kind of digital technology, including artificial intelligence. But we should also remember that this artificial intelligence, even if the fears are unfounded, the fear of artificial intelligence supplanting natural intelligence, I think we have to keep that in mind and apply artificial intelligence where it is actually required, and it can really find solution to the problems of the humanity, problems of the business, and of course the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. Before we move on to a little academic input so that we emerge enlightened at the end of this session, a couple of questions that I would like to ask you. One is that there's always a possibly unfounded but complaint that government is not opaque enough in terms of sharing information, particularly when it comes to large databases like this. For instance, in railways, we have freight operating information system, which throws up a huge amount of data, but that data is not made available to not only developers. So we are, let's say, four classic examples here. Mr. Parvinder Singh, who gives solutions. Then we have Anuj, who takes care of a captive requirement of a company. Then we have Atul, who implements it internally in his company. And Biju, again, similarly takes care of his own organization's requirement as far as use of external data for internal decision-making is concerned. So just to give you an example, any intermodal operator when he wants to set up a terminal at a particular location. There is a huge data set which it has to go through before it makes a decision that, yes, I want to be present in this market has future potential, and it can be connected not only to the existing ports, which is very obvious, but will also get connected to the future opportunities which will come out of that. So what is the current thinking of sharing data sets like the Freight Operating Information System or the GST and data sets which are available? And up to what level will it be possible to share these data sets in order to help the developer community as well as the stakeholders in this sector to do better decision making as well as to improve their efficiency?
I think, data is just not the currency today, but also the personal property of the individuals who are the source of the data, right? So when it comes to the government, and the government, since it has a position wherein most of the data about most of the people or citizenry, be it about their life, be it about their own identity, be it about their own activity or the business they are doing, we are a natural custodian of the data. And this data has been provided to the government with the confidence of the government by the data owner that it will not be divulged, right? Or it will not be misused. Even if it is to be utilized and used for business, there has to be a compensation to that owner of the data. Now, these are the questions which definitely prevails in the minds of the people in the government. And still, keeping all these things in mind, we have somehow created a channel of sharing the data for the business purposes, right? And therefore, the business, if they want to create some business solution with definitely a commercial objective, right? I think the owner of the data deserves that compensation. Maybe we may be thinking about, or still not decided though, how do we compensate and give a feeling to the data owner that he has not been, deprived of the data without adequate compensation. That's one concern. Secondly, it's a third-party data, or data related to the data owner, and it is going to be shared with another party, right? Again, which may be a commercial or the trade-related data. So we cannot just do that. However, there's a way out, which I always even tell the people in the government, the concerned departments who are the custodian of the data and having huge data dump. We call it anonymized aggregated data, right? Which masks the identity of individual data points, right? And kind of creating an aggregate of the entire data, which can be OD flow data, right? Which can be the trade-related data, again, wherein certain fields are masked. So this is still can be provided, and ULIP is providing you that, giving you that opportunity to probably harness that data, create applications, and use this data, but use it safely. Please do not commercialize it, because we have seen in the market, and we all have suffered it, right? Wherein my personal data, since I have shared it one of the establishment, or the commercial establishment, they have sold this data. And I am getting at least 15 calls every day for, selling certain thing or giving me an offer for buying something. And this is based on a data which I have shared, my personal data, which I have shared with one of the commercial establishment, and they have probably sold the data or have not kept it safe and therefore leaked that data, right? And there are a lot of problems. Now the government has also come with, of course, a regulatory mechanism to protect the data, but again, it's most often not resorted to. And we do not want to get into the problem and waste time in, getting some punitive action taken against these individuals. They really bother you. They really bother you. I'm personally telling you, and it must have affected every one of you here. Sharing of data without authorization from the owner of the data by a establishment with so many other commercial establishment, either on cost or free, and it is hugely inconvenient. And it's immoral, I would say. So we'll have to keep that in mind as well, and we are also keeping it in mind. Let's see how it turns out in future.
I completely agree. I think we couldn't agree less or more on this point that the data which is made available to the trade will have to be anonymous, will have to be non-commercial in nature, and it's possibly digested data at a level wherein more patterns are seen rather than the actual data is seen. And I think all of us are victims to numerous calls that we get every day on account of our data being shared with the real estate developers and insurance brokers calling us up while we are in a meeting to find out whether we are interested in a loan or an insurance cover or, for that matter, a real estate piece. Moving on to the academic side of artificial intelligence, we have a short presentation by Ms. Kamna Vaid. So we'll first get on with the presentation, and then we will have a quick question-answer session with the technical side of our panel today. And then we'll go to Dr. Mahendra Birade to hear from him what does exactly the customer want. And if the customer wants it, how is it that the people who are dealing with the data are going to provide that to us. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to start with my presentation. So I'll start with just the basic definition of artificial intelligence. What the word says, it is saying artificial intelligence. That means we are creating intelligence artificially, right? So that is how we stand for. Now, if we are using artificial intelligence, artificially we are creating intelligence in our logistics area, so I'm going to call it as a smart logistics. Because we are being a smart user now, we are using technology, we are moving towards digitization. So I'll say this logistics as a smart logistics. So where logistics implementation will be done with artificial intelligence, cloud computing, deep learning, IoT, big data, neural networks, so many buzzwords. But to optimize the delivery of products from the source to the end user and to improve all the aspects of the logistics business, then we call this as smart logistics. So this modern smart logistics solution will help the logistic industry with applications of the last mile delivery, improved transport efficiency, better inventory management. It will be more customer-centric, and it will integrate various tools. Like nowadays, mostly the industry is using ERP tools now. So we have to, they are already automated tools, but we have to enhance them with the latest technology and how we can have more optimized use of technology. So that is why, so we have to integrate our ERP systems also with this artificial intelligence. Now we have talking about artificial intelligence. Let us see what artificial intelligence is in a simple terms. So artificial intelligence is technology of making machines intelligent. Like what are we doing? Like we are intelligent, we as a human, we say we have human intelligence. So how are we intelligent? We are using our sensory organs, like we see something, we grab it, we put it in our mind. Then we listen to something, we are listening to this conversation, we are grabbing the important points. What are we doing? We are analyzing everything in our brain. So our brain is becoming intelligent enough to make out what conclusion we can draw through whatever we are seeing, we are listening, or we are hearing. So this is our input that we are putting in our mind. And our mind is analyzing that information. So we are becoming intelligent. That is how we train our brain. So similarly, it is the working of artificial intelligence which, it trains the machines, like robots or applications, whatever apps we are going to use, the mobile apps that we are using. So we are making it intelligent with the data. So we are talking about the term like big data. So has specified about the big data. What is that big data? The data we are generating. So we are putting this data to a machine to gain more information, how we can analyze that data. So we are doing that analysis with the help of artificial intelligence. Moving further, there are components of AI like learning. Our machine can learn. Our machine can perceive things. We are training our machine how to perceive. For example, now we are talking about like we have a future, we are going to have driverless cars. So how those cars are going to work? They are going to perceive, yes, now another car is coming, I do not have to bang onto the another car. So the sensors are going to work. So the machine is going to perceive that another object is coming. So we are training machine. Then machine can do reasoning also. We are training machines to do reasoning, logistic reasoning, we need to do that. Language understanding, natural language processing programs are being done. Now we have language translators apps. How are those apps working? We are speaking in our own language and we are getting a translation into another language. So it is making our life easier. So if we talk in terms of logistics also, we have to deal with the other countries. Globally, if we talk, then we have to interact with the people with other languages. So what are we doing? We are using such apps. So artificial intelligence is playing role over there. Then it is having a problem-solving ability also. How it is going to help our problem? It is helping us in doing predictive analysis. I'll move on to the predictive analysis. So how does it work? What are we doing? We put data to the machine, data gets processed, then the machine creates a model. It is a very simple understanding how AI works. We put data to a model, then we train that model. How are we training that model? We are doing some coding to that model that this is how you have to work. Then we do the testing and evaluation. This is how we develop any software product in the software industry. Then we do its testing and evaluation. Then we check the model is working fine. The model optimization is done. Then we deploy it. That means we check that model is running well. We are running that model. And then we keep on upgrading that model. So we call it as a continuous learning. So this is how any model we develop and how our apps that we are using, they are getting developed with artificial intelligence. So this is where the data plays a very big role. So now these are the key terms that we are listening. What is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, data science? So many words are there. But as a layman, everybody is not able to understand what is the difference between all these terms. What are these terms? These all are the subsets of AI. So AI it is a main purposes to create a machine smarter. Then we have a subset, machine learning. What is machine learning? We are training that machine with the help of some codes. We are doing some programming to that machine. So machine learning algorithms helps us in doing that. So it is the more technical terms, but in simple words, I say that we build a model, we train that model using machine learning techniques. Then further, we have a deep learning. To solve complex problems, we have a greater algorithms to process information in more deeper terms. So that is why we use the term deep learning. And further, we have a data science. It is an upcoming area, like we are using statistics to see how to do research using those models, using those data. Data analytics is playing a major role in that. So I hope you have some clear understanding about the difference between these terms. So all are the subsets of AI. Then how the AI application helps in logistics. What we can do, like we can do planning. In the planning, we can do demand forecasting, supply chain. With the help of what AI tools? We can do predictive analysis. We can use IoT. IoT is Internet of Things. Now we need Internet app on our mobile, whatever application, like sir has given an example of ChatGPT that we can use. So we need Internet for that. In order to connect our machines with the internet when we are using them, so IoT plays a role over there. So IoT, predictive analysis, can help in doing demand forecasting, supply planning. Then we can have automated warehouses. In the future, we can have robots working in our warehousing. What robot can do? We have to program them. So how are we going to program them? We have to train them. So the training that can be done with the help of coding, so we can do machine learning, computer vision, robotics can be used. In predictive maintenance, inventory tracking, damage detection can also be done with the help of AI. Then we can do analytics, like we can predict traffic patterns, route optimization, real-time data analysis, decision-making, dynamic pricing. Like, for example, now in our day-to-day life, we are using Google Maps. So what are we doing with that Google map? We make a prediction. Yes, we forecast that if I want to go from place A to B, then I do a forecast that I'll take this much time. I think Delhi is having a lot of traffic now. We need to see Google map, how much time it is going to take. So how that Google map is running, it is using the technology. Yes, and if we change our route, we detour, then it also gives us a new way. So this is how the intelligence of that system is working. So we can do route optimization in the area of logistics. It is going to help a lot, I suppose. Then real-time data analysis is also a key in the present times as we have big data. So we need to have some analysis from that data. So AI can help greatly in that. Then further, we can do the back office operations. I'll not explain in deep, sir has covered that. Then we can have automated email marketing, sales and marketing analysis we can do. Safety and security is also one of the important aspects. So from this AI, we can identify any vehicle malfunctions. Now the machines can tell you this vehicle is, this tire is not working fine. We can do analysis. We can check any product like we do on the shop floor also. So that can also be done with the help of AI. We can do the product inspections also. So IoT, deep learning, and machine learning plays a role over here. Then we can do the dispatch management also. Automated order management, delivery scheduling, and we can study advanced delivery factors also. I think it is going to help. We have discussed this issue a lot, that vehicle availability, traffic forecast, weather conditions, on-ground obstacles. There are keen interests that we should keep an eye in order to have a smooth logistics. Further, we can have autonomous things like self-driving vehicles. Nowadays, many companies are testing delivering with the drones also. So the drones are also playing a key role in delivery. So we can do that by using machine learning and image recognition algorithms. Then we can have cross-channel and cross-functional visibility. Like, why the cross-channel, cross-functional visibility? As we are using multi-modes of transport. And what we have to do, we have to combine various digital platforms as well as our enterprise solutions. Now we want every company to come on a mobile app also to have a real-time data to our user. So we need to have this intelligent delivery solutions using IoT. These are some digitization challenges that industry is going to face, like data integration. This is one of the major factors, that how we can integrate the multiple sources, how we can integrate all the transportation right from the source to the destination, how everybody can keep connected. We need to develop advanced versions of that. Then we have a skill gap also, like workforce training and education is also required if we want everyone to be there using intelligence. Then government regulations also play a major role. The government compliances, rules and regulations of the use of AI and ML is also a hindrance. Then security and the privacy. It is important that robust security measures are required, as we have to handle, sir has just mentioned, that we have to handle the customer data also. We cannot share that data. So security is also important. Also, if we talk in terms of logistics, then theft. Data may get the information, the data may get stolen, theft can occur, or unauthorized access to your premises, to your warehouse, it may also occur. So we need to take the security and surveillance. Cost is also a very important aspect. You have to buy some data, and in order to develop such AI platforms also you need to invest. Sustainable development goals. This is another major challenge, that because we have to take care of the carbon footprints, we have to shift towards the green technology now, and the green transportation is also a major thing. So these are the digitization challenges. Here I have shown a graph from the verified market report that AI is going to grow by 2031. The growth rate is going to be the three times that we have in 2021. So these are some latest development in the North India. I think we have discussed all these developments in our first session also, so I'm not going to read each one of them. So that is the logistical sector, which boosts the bilateral trade and makes significant economic contribution, needs to be effective enough to move good across speedily and effectively. So this was the example of Delhi-Mumbai Expressway. I'm just skipping it. So India market frame. Now India market is expected to become the second largest in the world by 2034. So also there is a rise in the concept of C-commerce, re-commerce, and Q-commerce to achieve the sustainable development goals. So market size is going to increase by 800 billion by 2030. It was given, the statement was given by our finance minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ved. That was quite crisp and digestible. We could understand what you said. And I think that's going to be very helpful in terms of understanding as to what are the multitude of opportunities which can be made available by having a large data, a pattern emerging out of that, and decision making, as well as increasing improvement in efficiency coming out of that. Now, one of the things that I have seen is that while when we look at the claims which are made by industries, I will not go to the individuals, but industries and within that various units which operate, is that everyone is 10 feet tall. But when we come to reality, everyone is a pygmy. All of them together definitely look like pygmies. So from that point of view, it will be a good idea to understand from people who implement it internally within their organization, various IT initiatives which are moving in the direction of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep data analysis, etc. So let me start with Atul first. Being my colleague, I think I'll be a little partial, and I will ask my first question to Atul. Atul, in your organization, how advanced are you in terms of your hardware, software, and skill capability as far as use of artificial intelligence and higher level tools like that is concerned, number one. Number two is that how difficult is it for you to have access to data outside your organization in order to make it a meaningful, let's say, data set, out of which you can derive certain decision-making points which help your organization move forward and grow?
Hello. Hello. Good evening. Data integration with all stakeholders, it's a very difficult task, and we have tried a lot, but most of the stakeholders have some fear. Their data can be utilized in some other way, and competition can take some advantage for that. But still, we are trying, and we are just in the beginning stage of the AI implementation. On the hardware front, we are very strong. We have very good hardware, very good skill set in the internal team, and we have actually good partners who are working with us on AI implementation. Under your leadership, we had started first project with the help of IIT Kharagpur, rig planning modules, where we were trying to optimize our loading plan to save our operation cost and to improve our operational efficiency. And still we are working on that. Almost 7 years has gone, and still we are optimizing that model. Now again, we are discussing with IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, to optimize further this model to suggest route planning, which trains should move to which direction, to save more cost and to improve our more efficiency. Recently, we have introduced e-seal verification app, where we are capturing a seal to make sure exact seal which is mentioned in the document is kept on the container, and we are sharing this data with customs so that they can verify our data with their systems. If they feel they observe some ambiguity, they can be on alert mode.
Thanks, Atul. Same set of questions over to you, Biju, because you also have, let's say, hands-on experience as well as you have the leadership role in terms of developing IT-related solutions for CMA CGM. And I would modify it a little further, since you are a shipping line, and you would have data arising out of all the transactions pertaining to various sectors in the industry. Does that help you in improving your decision making as well as the decisions which are taken in terms of route planning, rotation, etc., which is done by your organization? Over to you, Biju.
Thank you. Definitely, the question, we have been using data that has been received, like ULIP was a classic example. The data that is there in ULIP, I don't know how many stakeholders have actually got into ULIP. As per my knowledge, it's been more of third-party guys who have been trying to retrieve ULIP, but actual stakeholders of the shipping industry, if they're actually getting into it, there is an enormous amount of data. ULIP data with respect to, say, an LDV could give you visibility about how you could optimize your vessel. The amount of data when the container has moved out from an ICD, where is it as of now, whether that particular container would be able to reach the particular intended vessel voyage before the cutoff of the vessel is something that could be really helpful, that could be used. ULIP helps with you with GST and data. that could be verified with your internal system. ULIP gives you data to import or exporter codes, which could be helpful for any stakeholder to verify the KYC of their customer, which is required. So from that perspective, there is a lot of data that is currently there. With respect to the question whether how are you utilizing the various data points that we are collecting, frankly speaking, it's been a journey for us. And COVID was one of the points where we jumped up our digital initiatives, because we had certain stakeholders, as you rightly mentioned out on the start, shipping or this entire system is a fractured ecosystem. We have got various stakeholders who have got their own independent systems. We don't interact with each other. We have just started out now with API kind of things where at least now we can speak to a Concur or a railway operator. Can we interact with an API? So I think we need to come out with systems which will be able to give advantage, and it should be more symbiotic, both advantage to the customer, because sometimes at the midst of it, we forget the part which is the customer, to whom you are trying to improvise your system or bring in analytics within your system. AI per se for me is something which is, when you're exploring AI, there is a cost to it. When you're implementing AI, there is a bigger cost to it. But you nowadays you have reached a stage with different stakeholders in their own applications will be at different skill sets. But we have got a lot of data with respect to customers. When are they picking up the containers? Do they pick it up on time? When are their payments coming? You have got a lot of historical data on which you can do a lot of predictive analysis. With respect to usage of data, in improvising the systems, we have been able to gather, and this has been a journey for us, which started with digitization, wherein we converted the documents into a machine learning form. Then the second part was those documents and the human intervention, could it be automated using tools so that manual intervention could be avoided? And then the third aspect for me is the digital transformation journey, wherein through the learning curves that you have picked up at each of the data points, are you adding value to the business, the most important part of it? Because if you're adding value, then your internal stakeholders will be able to invest more into the systems to know what further predictive or generative techs we can use. So that's how our journey has been. Thank you.
That's very pertinent, Biju. Thank you. It was quite helpful in understanding how an organization looks at the opportunities which are going to arise out of use of big data, analysis of it, patterns which emerge out of it. And you specifically mentioned that you actually see the patterns which emerge out of it, which help you in predictive planning. Coming to Anuj, one is that he has a very interesting company name, Patang. So the question is about a particular phenomena. A picture from a distance is always clearer than picture from very close by on account of granularity. And you work as a nursery for developing application softwares which also get integrated over a period of time, are tested on a test bed of the transfer group of companies, and then you come back and give them a product which helps them in their decision making. It's almost like training them how to fly kite in a real environment. That's why Patang probably. So can you tell us as to the data set which is available to you is adequate, or you need data from sources which can be thrown open by Government of India, number one. Number two is that the patterns which are emerge out of whatever test bed work which is done by you in your organization improves over a period of time through its own learning process. So whether AI is helping AI itself in learning the way the work should be done. Over to you, Anuj.
So I'll start by first establishing 3 Ps, which are very important here. So the first one is popularity. So how many of you guys actually used ChatGPT at least once? If you could just raise your hands, please. So like, I can see at least 50 to 60% people using it, right? Then we go on to the next thing, that is how powerful it is. So a lot of people don't understand how powerful AI is in predicting things. So first thing, I'll just give you a scenario. How many of you play chess, and how many of you feel it is difficult or hard to master? Possibly many of you, right? But think of a game called Go. Go is like exponentially harder than chess in magnitude of time, like it's exponentially higher. And AI was able to predict and turn away the best player in the world. In the scale of 5, 4:1 was the ratio of AI winning that bet. So when AI is able to predict the best in the game, in that sort of a game where it is millions and millions of combinations, your business use case is very simple. For you to make just 5% PAT margins grow, if you reach to the customer first, you predict his flows first, that's where you're going to make a very big impact to your business. So that's the power of AI. And third is the most important thing, possibilities. Now everyone here knows that, okay, AI can do lots of things, many things are possible, X, Y, Z, but where do I start from? So first thing, any company here, everyone, I'm sure less than 10% will have a visibility dashboard that tells you what processes you have and how much percentage of that processes are automated via AI or just automated in general, right? If you don't know that data at all, how are you going to say that, like, Gartner predicts like by 2030, at least 90% of the business processes will be driven by AI. Now, if you don't have a digital dashboard, you don't understand, you don't know how many business processes in your organization are actually using AI, how are you going to make that happen? So first thing is start by establishing this dashboard. Okay, I have XYZ business processes and they are automated at what scale? And then go take that journey from 0 to 50x, 60x, 90x about the percentage where you implement AI. Now what things we do? We do the same thing. So Transworld is investing a lot into digital transformation. So how it started? It started with COVID. It started earlier than that. We saw that, okay, to make predictive decisions, to make businesses work, they are going to be worked on digitally. And now AI is going to drive that force even ahead. So we invested into products which solve our own problems first. We see, okay, it has a clear roadmap. AI doesn't work like, okay, you'll digital transform and this will happen, that will happen. It has a clear ROI roadmap. Okay, with this process, I'm going to implement AI. It's going to reduce so many man-hours for me. It is going to have a direct impact on what I'll be achieving through that. So we implement these business processes point by point, one step at a time on different verticals that we have. And then we see, okay, what ROI we get, etc. So I'll give you one example. It's a small accounting process. Most of the companies here will be using some sort of an ERP, like SAP or Oracle OTM or anything else, right? But even though anything goes into the system, from that point it might be automated, it is exchanging data. But once you get an email of an invoice, a vendor invoice or a bill of lading, etc., someone has to go manually put that data to SAP, okay? Think of it that AI does it for you. You're saving lots and lots of time into man-hours. Plus, if your accounts team has put in wrong data, conciliation is again the next step that you have to figure out and then come back and change it and do all those things, and AI can do it all by its own. So that's a very simple example to tell you that, okay, with such small processes also where there's a manual intervention involved, you could completely eliminate it with AI. So I'll just wrap it up with that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anush. I think that's very helpful. I think, like in logistics, the overall cost has been reduced over a period of time by having common service providers, the common carrier that we talk about. Similarly, in this space as well, we will need common service providers, the developers, to come out with various solutions which are made available to a relevant audience. But what is it that the audience wants? At the end of it, the call that a chief operations manager of a large company gets from his customer is, "Mera container kidhar hai?" Is it really going to help as far as AI is concerned? So are we only going to play a video game, or are we really going to get benefited out of it? And what is it that the customer wants? So Dr. Birade, if you can throw some light on this, it will be great.
Thank you, Mr. Bhanushali. Thank you so much. And let me also take this opportunity to thank Nisa for giving me an opportunity to participate in such a wonderful discussion. So I also cannot resist myself by addressing this issue whether artificial intelligence will take over humankind or not. So Mr. Bhanushali, you are very modest, because what we have seen that you are endowed with immense natural intelligence, and the way you are moderating, so it tells volumes about that. So artificial intelligence.
Don't believe in him. He is always kind with his words.
So I was just reading one book. The name of the book is Theory of 1,000 Brains. It is by Jeff Hawkins. So this Jeff Hawkins has spent at least 30 years of his life into researching on brain. And what he finds, that till now, nobody knows how brain, works to learn about the world. So therefore, he is developing one theory that is called theory of 1,000 brains. That how, because, like artificial intelligence can beat you in chess, but human intelligence at a several time does so many things, like, you learn so many languages, you learn so many emotions. Like if somebody is crying, you can understand what is the, logic behind that, whether that person is really crying or, it is cry of pleasure also, So that kind. So therefore, I think we need not really worry about this. So that is one. And now second, before I talk about our star, our customer, I also would like to take one opportunity, because Mr. Ahirwar is here, Mr. Abhishek, Niti Ayog is here. So what we have found, that we know that our economy is going to be 5 trillion. Actually, EY says 6 trillion in 2030, and 2047, 26 trillion. And in terms of logistic volume, it will be, immense, like 3 trillion ton kilometer. And as Mr. Abhishek was telling about node and links. So, the network will be so vast, and the size of the network and volume of data and all. But what is happening while we are developing our network? So one thing is missing, and that is, what we call theory of constant of identification of bottlenecks. So we know that DFC is working quite well. I mean, and we have seen that trains are reaching from northern India to Mundra in 18 hours. But what happens? The moment there is pendency of 16,000 or 17,000 at Mundra, then, that infrastructure is not matching the DFC capacity. DFC capacity is higher. And then trains are getting halted at Palanpur. And then, crew will be overtime, and then that train will be just kept there, and it will be waiting for 2 days, because, all other trains, they will be overtaking. So what is happening? So therefore, what I am requesting, that AI tool we should use for identifying bottlenecks of the network, and then we should invest our capital into removing this bottleneck, so that capacity of the overall network or overall throughput increases. Because there is a possibility that if we invest into some infrastructure, so that may increase capacity of that particular link, but not of the whole network. So we know that what is our expectation of throughput in, let's say, 2030. So the network should be, designed accordingly. And we must take help of AI, because network is so vast. Without AI tools, it is impossible to solve the problem, because the algorithm will be very, very sophisticated. Now, sir, as you said, final, what customer wants. So if you ask me, I will just give one word answer. Customer wants only one thing, reliability. Reliability of service. And there precisely, AI is going to help us. Because AI can give us that transparency and that visibility. And we are trying, but is it there? So what I would do, I would take a very small, part of the supply chain. Though it is very small, but it is the most crucial. That is, let's say first mile in export. Today, what is happening? Because customer doesn't have reliability, and therefore, customer doesn't have trust on the service provider. And because customer doesn't have trust on the service provider, so what customer will be doing? He will be putting safety margin. So if customer has got, an order for, let's say, 50 containers, he will be asking you that I need, 70. So he will be putting that 40% of the safety margin. And as a result, what happens? Like while customer is having capacity of stuffing for, let's say, 10 containers every day, you will be finding that at least 20 trailers are, waiting there. And as a result, what is happening? That, according to me, I may be, this is my estimate, that almost 15 to 20% of trailers are on hold every day at the customer end. And that is just because of this trust, reliability, visibility, transparency factor. And then, while this technology is here, what happens is, like whenever there is a, order from the customer, and you want to send this trailer for picking up of, empty container from the empty container yard, you send your trailer and you find that there is a huge repair. Now we are talking about, predictive maintenance, we are talking about, visibility, but today that is not there. And then trailers are waiting there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And ultimately what happens is when trailer reaches the customer, they are late reach. They will be reaching after 3 o'clock and again they have to be kept on hold. So just imagine, today we are doing, if you talk about only NCR, let's say we are doing, 50,000 TU of export. And in that, if 25% of the trailers, that is almost, 15,000 trailer a days if they are getting wasted, that is also adding to the congestion. That is adding to the cost. And then imagine what we are talking about 2030, 2047, where, you will be having, like 100,000, 1 lakh TU of export every month. So if we continue like this, there will be 30,000 trailer a days getting wasted. And therefore, I think AI, we have to use AI as a tool. We have to use digital technology, which will really, able to address all this problem so that customer exactly knows whether he's going to get whatever he's asking and we are able to supply. And then we can use route optimization and all. And again, one more thing, why I said that this first mile, last mile would be very, very critical, because driver will be a major issue. After 5 years, getting driver will be very difficult. So what I'm talking about, if we use our, AI tool properly and digital technology properly for, let's say, first mile, last mile, then number one, we can save this wastage. And then if we are able to use the, fleet there more productively, if we can improve the TAT, so that will, further add to the productivity, and naturally it will reduce the cost. And as we know that if indirect cost of logistic cost reduces by 10%, then there is a probability of export increase by 5 to 8%. And again, now I will say, again in one sentence, that what customer wants. Customer wants that if my containers are to reach port, let's say in 72 hours, so they should reach there, they should go into green channel, so that, they should get their empty container. It should get stuff. Documentation should be ready. It should come to the ICD automatically. It should get custom cleared, put on a rail, and then railway should have a dynamic kind of program. Because what happens is, so therefore, if let's say some containers are very very express kind of containers, so that visibility should be there to everyone, to even railway, so that railway can run their dynamic program and give priority schedule to this particular train. It goes there. But today what is happening that it's like a India-Pakistan match, that excitement, whether that train will reach or not, that containers will go there or not. So we are talking to railway the controller, senior DOM, CFTM, and then where is the vessel, what time vessel will come, when is get why all this? Actually, once you promise that your containers will reach in 72 hours, after 72 hours, you should get a message that yes, your containers have loaded onto the vessel. So that is what customer wants.
Very relevant. I think one of the logistics manager in one of the major companies that I was dealing in my earlier avatar used to say that you first annoy us and then you disappoint us. And he used to say that your only motto seems to be maximum inconvenience to maximum number of people. So I think AI will definitely help us come out of this. I don't know whether this is working or not. I know I'm a loud mouth. I speak loudly enough for all of you to hear what we said. It has been a wonderful discussion ranging from academic input to practical realities of life. And when we talk about reliability is just promising something and delivering that. It is not impressing someone with greater speeds, higher speeds, or doing better than whatever you have done in the past. So finally, we will have to expect that artificial intelligence delivers what natural intelligence demands. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful panel. And thank you so much, Nisa, for getting all of us together to share our thoughts with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I think that was an amazing panel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a loud round of applause. Not just for the insightful remarks, insightful comments, information that was, shared here, but also for maintaining the time. It was just spot on. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazingly conscious about the time. Amazingly well done. So before we move on to the next segment of this evening, I would like to invite Mr. Sridhar Subramaniam, Secretary of NISA, to hand over a token of our appreciation to all the panelists here. May I request the panelists to step forward as I call out the name. I would like to invite Shri Biju Nambishan to please step forward and accept our memento, a token of appreciation from NISA. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Anuj Yadav. Thank you for your presence. Mr. Parvinder Singh. Next, Mr. Atul Kumar Bansal. Thank you so much, Dr. Mahindra Birhade. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Kamna Ved. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insights with us. Dr. Surendra Aherwar. Thank you so much for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause for our moderator who chaired the session, Mr. Sachin Bhanushali. Thank you so much for being gracious enough to moderate the session. Thank you so much for joining us. And now may I request the panel to please come together for a group photograph and Mr. Sridhar to join them, please. Yeah, it would be great if you could step forward. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, panel. Now you may step down and join our audience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to appreciate certain people who've been with us to make this event a grand success. You know who I'm talking about. They're none other than our kind sponsors. Yes, this evening is never complete without thanking them from the bottom of our hearts. We will proceed to that. And after that, like I said earlier, we do have some entertainment in store for us. We have someone here. You know, it's always difficult to make you laugh, right? Especially when you say that you are a comedian. It's very difficult because then you expect to be made to laugh. So we have some really, really good comedy coming up to tickle us with laughter. All that coming up right now. But as of now, we will have some tokens, some mementos distributed for our kind sponsors for being with us, for making this evening so grand and successful. I will be calling out the names of these sponsors. May I request the representatives to kindly be ready. As we clear the stage, we will move on to the memento distribution for the sponsors. But just to save time, I would request the representatives of all the sponsors to kindly be prepared and be ready as I'm about to call out the names. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to do the honors and to give away the mementos to our sponsors, I'd like to invite on stage President of NISA, Captain D. Mishra. Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite Captain D. Mishra on stage yet again on stage today. Welcome, Captain, once again. Well, now let's move on. NISA deeply thanks all sponsors for supporting this initiative, and a sincere thanks to all of them for their continued support to organize the business forum meaningfully and so thoughtfully. NISA strongly believes without their support, we never, ever would have been able to do this event so successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear a loud round of applause for all our sponsors once again? May I request the representatives from APM terminals to kindly come on stage to receive our memento, our token of gratitude to you. Ladies and gentlemen, APM terminals. That's a beautiful memento. Thank you so much, APM Terminals. May I request a representative from Container Corporation of India to kindly come on stage? Container Corporation of India. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause for these gentlemen, representatives of Concord. Thank you so much for your support. May I now request the representatives from Transworld Terminals to kindly walk towards the stage. Transworld Terminals. Transworld Group, yes. Thank you so much. I would like to next invite the representatives from Track 1 Logistics to kindly come on stage to receive the memento. Track 1 Logistics. Yes. Are you all hungry already? By any chance? Yes. Thank you. So please, let's keep the applause going. All right. Thank you so much, Track 1 Logistics, for your support. I'd now like to invite our representatives from DP World to kindly come on stage and accept our token of appreciation. DP World. Yes. Thank you so much for your support. That's DP World. May I request the representatives from Adani Ports and Logistics to kindly walk towards the stage. Adani Ports and Logistics. Thank you so much for your support. May I request the representatives from Hind Terminals to kindly walk towards the stage. Hind Terminals. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And thank you, Hind Terminals, for all your support. May I request representatives from CMA CGM Logistics Park, Dadri, to kindly proceed towards the stage. Thank you. Thank you for all the support extended towards NISA Business Forum 2024. May I request representatives from All Cargo Logistics Park to kindly proceed towards the stage. All Cargo Logistics Park. Thank you so much for your support towards NISA Business Forum 2024. That's All Cargo Logistics Park. Thank you. May I now request representatives from Pristine Logistics to proceed towards the stage. Thank you so much. Pristine Logistics? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause for Pristine Logistics. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your support. May I now request the representatives from Delhi International Cargo Terminal to kindly proceed towards the stage. Delhi International Cargo Terminal. Do we have the representatives here? Delhi International Cargo Terminal. We will move on. Okay, Delhi International Cargo Terminal. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause. We have the representatives from Delhi International Cargo Terminal on stage. Thank you very much for all the support extended. May I now request the representatives from Odex India Solutions Private Limited to proceed towards the stage. Thank you so much. May I now request the representatives from Gateway District Park to proceed towards the stage. Gateway District Park. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for all the support towards NISA Business Forum 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a loud round of applause to the team from Gateway District Park on stage. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause once again. Hearty gratitude to our esteemed speakers, panelists, guests. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors. And our sponsors, without whom this evening would never have been possible. This business forum would just have remained on papers. It would not have been possible to organize such a prestigious event without your very generous support. Thank you all once again. All right, last but not the least, I'd like to invite NISA Secretary, Mr. Sridhar Subramaniam, to deliver the vote of thanks for this wonderful evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished panelists, speakers, moderators, and our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. All good things have to come to an end, and here we are at the end of today's vibrant event. I have been assigned the task of giving the vote of thanks. Let me begin by wishing all of you a very fruitful and glorious financial year 24-25. I, on behalf of Northern India Emergence Association and the entire shipping fraternity, thank one and all present here. It was a wonderful day indeed. We shall cherish the memory of this event for a long time to come, and it will help us in taking forward the cause of this industry with greater enthusiasm and fervor. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the distinguished guests present here in this gathering for their support to NISA. It is indeed a matter of pride and privilege to have you here. I thank the panelists and speakers for the wonderful discussions that has paved way for NISA to take forward the various issues faced by our fraternity. We thank you for being with us this evening. It's been a great pleasure. I also thank Mr. Neelkant Gumala and Mr. Sachin Banushali for the brilliant moderation during the discussions. Recommendations of each session is well noted, and the same will be taken up with the related ministries and departments and endeavor to resolve the same for great benefit. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our sincere thanks to our esteemed sponsors for the support they have extended to us at NISA Business Forum. We will not have been able to organize such an event without your support. A big round of applause, please. I also extend my thanks to Mr. Sudhir Nambiar of India Sea Trade and his vibrant team for the perfect logistic support, guidance, enormous cooperation extended for this event. I also thank Sheridan Saket and the event team for the perfect logistic support, guidance, and enormous cooperation extended for this event. Last but not the least, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the members of NISA for their valuable support all through these years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling many weeks ago. It required planning and a bird's eye for minute details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who have been given full commitment beyond their comfort zones to the task of making this business forum a huge success. With these few lines, I sign off for the day and declare the bar and dinner open. Wishing a pleasant drive ahead. Sayonara.
Thank you so much, Sridhar sir, and thank you all once again. And this was the end, and with that, the NISA Annual Business Forum 2024 comes to a close. I hope to see you all next time once again, and I hope to see you all in 2030 as well, which was the year that we've all been speaking about today. Thank you so much, all of you. Please enjoy your cocktails and dinner. And just one special announcement, if there's anyone who's not collected your delegate bags from the registration counter, please rush in and please grab them. Your bag awaits you. The delegate bags, all right? Thank you so much.
One more. I take this opportunity to again thank Ms. Deepa Rahul Ishwar. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Deepa. Her presence here is, this has made our forum much more vibrant. And thank you so much for making it possible to come here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the love. May I now request all the EC members to kindly come on stage for a group photograph, please.